Breaking news this morning, Erik Ten Hag has been sacked from his position as head coach of Manchester United. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre on the big breaking news this morning that Erik Ten Hag has been sacked by Manchester United in the aftermath of the very controversial defeat United suffered yesterday at the hands and expense of West Ham United. West Ham won 2-1 yesterday. Controversial circumstances with a Jarrod Bowen penalty that was very debatable, finishing off the reign of Erik Ten Hag, a man who has tried his best, a man who has been adamant and stubborn in his approach to demanding respect, demanding that people acknowledge that he has been the second most successful manager during his time in England, behind, of course, Pep Guardiola with his 2 domestic cup wins. Well, now he has officially been sacked, and it does seem as though that Ruud van Nistelrooy, one of the coaches at Manchester United, of course, is set to take charge on an interim basis at United and Old Trafford. The Manchester United circus continues to rumble on. We're going to be talking about this big breaking news. We're going to be talking about the reign of Erik Ten Hag and, of course, what the future may have in store for Manchester United in terms of a new manager, in terms of interim manager, or whatever the case may be. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section, of course, on this very intriguing topic. Would love to know what you guys have to say, what you have to comment, your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure will make for great interest in reading on this down below. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this intriguing topic. Right, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Erik Ten Hag and him being sacked from Manchester United. The news this morning was that it was being discussed internally about the future of Manchester United, and then all of a sudden it has happened. Now, I initially have to question the timing. We've just had an international break. There's another international break on the horizon. I know losing to West Ham, who have been so poor so far this season, is a bad result. But it did happen in controversial circumstances, and I do believe that context does matter. But after winning against Brentford last week, and then losing to West Ham this week, with an international break being 2 weeks removed, and with an international break 2 or 3 weeks on the horizon, I have to question the timing of this. Why did this happen now? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. The timing is very weird on this. On the flip side of things, as a rival fan, I'm devastated. Really devastated. I thought he was doing an amazing job, as did probably a lot of other rival fans of Manchester United. I thought he was doing an incredible job. Thought he should have kept it a little while longer at the very least. No, but in all seriousness, yeah, this was probably a long time coming and probably should have happened a lot earlier than when it actually did happen. Erik Ten Hag was one of these very stubborn, adamant managers, as I mentioned earlier. He brought up his FA Cup and League Cup triumphs whenever he could. Stated on multiple occasions that behind Pep Guardiola, he's the most successful manager, especially during his time in England. And basically would try and hold that to high regard and say that things are moving in the right direction and that he made his side difficult to beat, even though they should be beating teams that were less than Manchester United, with all due respect. So he did come up with some weird things in press conferences and in interviews. It did seem like he was losing it a little bit. Did seem like he was going a bit weird with positional changes, not changing things at the right time, squad personnel changes and everything. But you can't argue that this guy was given everything. This guy was given everything to succeed, every chance to succeed. And yes, a League Cup and an FA Cup is absolutely nothing to be sniffed at, but those trophies papered over some major cracks. Okay, maybe not so much the League Cup because that was his first trophy in his first year, but the FA Cup definitely papered over some massive cracks. And I was so surprised that a lot of Man United fans went from him wanting him out to wanting him to stay as soon as an FA Cup was added to their trophy cabinet. I thought people would see the bigger picture. I thought people would see that trophy, like I said, papered over a lot of cracks. And I thought they would see the kind of delusion that Ten Hag was under. I thought they could see the fact that he's had a lot of money be spent under his reign as manager. He's had a lot of say on the players that Manchester United have brought in. And it just has not worked. Now, as far as the future of Manchester United goes, again, it's very debatable, and obviously only time will tell whether they'll appoint the right guy or whether they will appoint another flop. Manchester United's official statement, by the way, is Erik Ten Hag has left his role as Manchester United's men's first team manager. We are grateful to Erik for everything he has done during this time with us and wish him well for the future. Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge of the team as interim head coach, supported by the current coaching team, whilst a permanent head coach is recruited. So this was going to be tying into what I was going to say about Manchester United's platform, the basis, the foundation behind the scenes and everything. Obviously, since Ineos have taken over, they've made some really big and sweeping changes. Obviously, since they've come in, the infrastructure of Manchester United has changed. Some will say for the better. Obviously, only time will tell on that, whether that is actually true or not. So, it does seem like they tried to remove a lot of the toxicity from previous regimes and previous managers and things like that. And obviously, now that the Glazer-appointed manager has been taken out of the equation, maybe that was the last piece to be removed before Ineos can now fully take over. They can appoint their own man in charge and maybe things will run a little bit smoother. And that is the hope for a lot of Manchester United fans, that this will obviously this will obviously be the case, that United will now appoint a an Ineos approved manager who is going to get the best out of the club, the squad, bridge the gap between the club and the fans, get everybody on side, and start winning trophies and start winning the major ones at that. Because although, like I said before, the FA Cup and League Cup are nothing to be sniffed at, they're not the kind of standards that United fans of the Sir Alex Ferguson era are known for in high regard. They regard themselves as you're winning either a Premier League or a Champions League, and if not, you better be extremely close to winning one of them. And if you're not up to the standard of Manchester United, and that is the unfortunate thing about it. And this guy wasn't. And, you know, despite having a very good first season, finishing in the top four, getting Champions League football back to Old Trafford, a League Cup as well under his belt, you felt maybe this might be the guy to take United forward. This might be the guy to finally succeed the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson, for example. But then the second season dropped off massively. The second season had an FA Cup to paper over a lot of cracks. And then this season has been a car crash. This season has been very hit and miss. This season has been very, very awkward. And like I say, I'm surprised it took them this long to come to this decision. I'm very surprised. Like I say, the infrastructure's there, the coaching's there, he's had everything he could have wanted to succeed, still failed. But that doesn't mean everything that Ineos have done since taking charge is a complete waste of time. This only means that if they appoint the right guy to succeed him, the foundations are certainly there for success. As much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hope I'm proven wrong, whoever they appoint next, as long as he fits in with what Man United are going for in the long-term future, as long as he fits in with the current coaching staff, as long as he fits in with I'm not saying all of them, but the vast majority of players that are currently at Manchester United, you can argue the foundations are there and built ready for success. It's just about appointing the right guy, putting a very big cog in that machine, a very big part of the jigsaw into the, jigsaw. But yes, from the outside looking in, if Ineos had made all these changes that Man United fans rave about so highly and praise so highly, then surely it's about getting the manager in that is going to, separate the good players from the disposable ones, that is going to come in and just change a few things to modify it to his way of playing and his style. Look at Arne Slot at Liverpool, for example. Look at Arne Slot at Liverpool taking over from Jurgen Klopp. It's not too dissimilar from the Jurgen Klopp era, but there are slight tweaks here and there that make it Arne Slot's project. If this is an Ineos project, then the Ineos guy needs to come in and make a few tweaks to satisfy his needs, his wants, and then he can obviously make United, in his eyes, maybe a success. And in a lot of Man United fans' eyes, and Ineos' eyes especially, he will make them a success. That is the hope of them. In my personal opinion, and personal opinions of probably the 18, 19 other clubs outside of Man United, the hope is that they continue to remain in the mud. But the fact of the matter is that maybe this would be the best thing for Manchester United going forward. And I know we've said that time and time again over the years with different managers that have come in at Old Trafford, but they never had a new ownership before. They never had a new regime before. This next manager that's coming in is going to have a completely fresh start. Fresh players, fresh infrastructure, fresh ownership. That is going to be a breath of fresh air for whoever is going to actually walk in. For the meantime, though, Ruud van Nistelrooy will take over. That was seemingly always going to be the case anyway. When he was appointed as a Man United coach, that was seemingly what was going to happen. He was going to be the successor. Interim managers never normally work out, especially at Manchester United. You can look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and think that may have been different, but Ralph Ragnick, for example, Ryan Giggs, they never normally work out at Manchester United, especially. So, I guess my question is, aside from the obvious, who's going to take charge on a permanent basis at Manchester United, is this another write-off season? Is this another write-off season? Look, I get it. Van Nistelrooy knows the club. Van Nistelrooy, club icon at Manchester United, obviously was there during Sir Alex Ferguson's era, won them a few trophies, scored a lot of goals, has been helping out the likes of Rasmus Højlund this season, as well as Joshua Zirkzee. Is this another write-off season? Or is he going to hit the ground running straight away and actually prove to be a success? Is this his trial period? Is this basically a test now for United? For Van Nistelrooy to prove himself that he can become the manager of Manchester United? I want to know what you guys think on that, because it's obviously a very intriguing topic, and I don't know if United are fully on board with Van Nistelrooy taking charge permanently as manager. I know that was obviously what everybody thought, but is that how it is going to end up? I don't know. Just a follow-up from Mike Keegan. He says that those within Manchester United said the decision on Erik Ten Hag was difficult but unanimous. With no momentum or progress, the club considered the poor starts in both the Premier League and Europa League and found no justifiable excuses. Well, again, the timing's a bit weird because you played 3 games since being back from the international break. You won 1 against Brentford. You drew 1 against who did they play in the Champions League? Fenerbahce, of course. And then, of course, you lose at the weekend to West Ham. It does seem very strange, the timing, considering that, well, you're only giving him 3 games in all competitions to sort it out. I don't know, man. It just seems very weird. And Sam C. of the United Stand also reports that Julian Nagelsmann is well liked amongst the Manchester United board and an approach is expected to happen soon. So maybe Julian Nagelsmann has emerged as a front runner to succeed Erik Ten Hag on a permanent basis at Manchester United. If that obviously is to be the case, then obviously the Van Nistelrooy thing is not completely sold upon by Manchester United and Ineos right now. And what that might mean as a domino effect for the German national team. Maybe they approach Jurgen Klopp early. I don't know. That's kind of sidetracked and a different story. But it does seem as though the search for a new manager has begun for Manchester United. Julian Nagelsmann seems to be a front runner, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are other names that are linked to the job. We've already heard from the likes of Thomas Frank, Gareth Southgate, of course. Oh, please say they're going to perform a U-turn and go for Gareth Southgate. Wouldn't that be another glorious day for all football fans that dislike Manchester United? That would be glorious. Oh, that would be amazing. Anyway, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the big breaking news today that Erik Ten Hag has been sacked from his position as head coach of Manchester United? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. Will make for great, interesting reading down below. So please do get down there and use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this big breaking news topic. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up. Enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved, like I say, in the comment section. Would love to hear from you all. And thank you all for your continued, even brand new support. It is very much appreciated. Thank you for supporting the channel. And it is absolutely awesome. So thank you all so much for that. It means a great deal to me. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very soon.